My lovely Kathy Saples is here today to make us one of her famous sweet Greek recipes. Oh, I love this one.
Guess what we're making?
What are we making?
We're making Kataifi today.
Kataifi.
We're going to use this beautiful Kataifi pastry. Do you know what Kataifi pastry is?
I do, but I'm sure a lot of people at home want to hear what it is.
This is Kataifi pastry as it comes out of the packet. Most people think that it's phyllo pastry, but it isn't. It's a batter. It's like a pancake batter that is poured onto a hot disc, and these strings and strings and strings are formed, which are these ones.
It's fascinating to watch.
It is. It is amazing. So it's not thin strips of pastry, but rather a batter that's poured on, and this is the end result. We take it out of the packet, and it must be room temperature, really important, so that we can work with this pastry.
Okay.
Now, I actually need to tease this out. While I'm doing that, Justine's actually going to make the syrup. We have the water on. I need you to put the sugar into that, stir it, bring it to the boil about 5 minutes, then turn it off, and then we're going to add the vanilla and the juice of half a lemon.
Okay,
so you do that while I'm teasing.
This is the syrup that goes onto the cooked Kataifi base.
Correct.
The reason we do this is to ensure we get extra crispy Kataifi.
It's crispy but fluffy, if that can make sense. It's crispy and fluffy, so it's not compacted into this, you know, firm sort of glug, if that makes sense.
Well, that sugar has dissolved, so let's add some of our lemon. A whole lemon?
No, I'd like you to add half a lemon, the juice of half a lemon, and also a little bit of vanilla bean.
Lovely.
Extract. Look at this, Justine. Isn't this just gorgeous and fluffy? So this goes into our bowl.
Okay.
Ready for us to pour our clarified butter over it.
Right. And why do you use clarified butter, Kathy?
Well, you need to clarify your butter because butter has milk solids in it. If you allow the milk solids to come into this, it creates brown spots and it also makes it more soggy. So, Justine, while I'm doing this, can you help me out by making the custard for me? We've got the milk on, so I need you to get the egg yolks into the sugar and start whisking quickly.
Okay.
We don't want those egg yolks to cook. And we can also add a little bit of salt into that too, if you like.
Okay, a pinch of salt. So this is the base of the custard here. And you really want to whisk that sugar with the eggs until it's sort of almost changed colour, like it's creamy
and white. So we need a bit of muscle here.
Get me to do the hard job,
I do. Whereas while I'm mixing this, you can do that. Justine, I think that's actually quite creamy. That's quite nice. Add the corn flour into that now. I think we're ready.
Okay. Corn flour in.
As you can see, I've now poured my Kataifi into my baking tray and I'm going to even it out nicely, make sure it's all very well distributed.
And how long does that cook in the oven for?
It needs to go into a moderate oven of about 160 degrees for an hour because I want all these little strands to be coated and also crispy, crunchy. So how are you going there, Justine? That looks really good. I think you're ready for vanilla bean there.
Okay.
And then pour some really important stage this. Let's get some hot milk in here to temper it before we pop it into the pot.
Tell us why we're going to be tempering it.
Well, we have some raw egg yolk that we've been whisking up. If we pour that into the hot milk, we're going to end up with scrambled eggs. And that's why we need to put the milk in there very gently, softly, and then we can take this mixture and pop it back into the hot milk, and that will create a lovely, luscious custard. So you do that, add a couple more ladles to it, and I'm going to pop this in the oven, Justine.
Sounds good.
Justine, Kataifi's pastry is out of the oven. Now we've got to pour that syrup in. Remember, cool syrup, hot pastry.
Cool syrup, you've taught me that.
This Kataifi pastry will absorb it, and then we pour the custard over the top and put it into the fridge and allow it to set.
Yeah, that's the most important because I guess you want to cut it and it to be sort of quite firm.
Firm. We want nice square pieces that we're going to serve up.
Custard next?
I'm going to actually now do a sprinkle, a tiny bit of cinnamon.
Oh, I love cinnamon.
Cinnamon is delicious, some things. But, you know, this is optional. You know that. I mean, we don't have to have it, but it does make a difference. And then I'm going to add some almonds, sprinkle almonds on top. Fantastic. There's so many textures happening too, flavours, textures, and that's what we want.
All right, in with the custard and then it goes into the fridge. Kathy, the ekmek is out of the fridge.
Yes.
And we're just doing the adornment of cream, whipped cream, beautiful.
Finishing it off like fluffy little clouds. So while you're finishing that off, Justine, I'm going to sprinkle the toasted almonds on top. Finish it off, make it look pretty.
Oh, it's so good.
A tiny bit of cinnamon, which is again optional, but I quite like it.
I love the cinnamon.
Me too.
I can just picture a beautiful Greek feast at Kathy's house and then this coming out at the end.
At the end, yeah. Well, I'm not going to keep you in suspense anymore. We're going to cut it up and I'm going to serve a big piece because I think you need a big piece.
Fantastic.
Using a spatula, we're going to lift it up.
Ooh.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Can you hear that?
Custard.
Look at that.
Ah, sensational. That looks very decadent, Kathy.
It is. And I think this would be an ideal dessert to have at Christmas time because
Yes.
it's a refrigerated dessert. It's cold, it's crisp.
Well, it's not Christmas today, but it does feel like Christmas whenever you come in here.
Thank you, Justine. And
One
I
for you.
always love to spoil you too, so don't wait to get started.
You really do spoil me.
I have to spoil you, my beautiful Justine.
It's cold. The cinnamon, the kataifi.
Crunch of the almonds.
I know I say I like all of your desserts, but this one
Isn't it good?
takes the cake.
It's good.